Da, 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 da. Do, do, do. Ding dong ding. Am I live? It looks like I am. Dun 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 da 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 da. There I be. InShalla and Ashe. Blessings to you, my energetic beings, and it's a good day to be you, right? So my musing moon meditation is out the gate. This full moon is in the season of Virgo. It's spiritual, mesmerizing, if you don't mind me saying that. It's going to take our emotions of our reality into the realm of spirit or vice versa. So what is our spiritual reality? Feeling the call to upcycle your spiritual practice? Maybe a new offering or a ritual? Hello? Hey, state your name because I don't know who I'm talking to. Isn't that terrible? I haven't figured that out yet. However, it's time to take an otherworldly course into an adventure that possibly we haven't discovered yet. But my musing corridor, lots of musings going on, has a variety of offerings for wherever like your soul journey is, your soul garden. But with that, I have a card for you today. Welcome to today's daily snippet. Once again, I am your host. I am a practicing holistic Sha'medium, a subtle energetic surgeon. My thing is really just to merge these indigenous technologies, the spirit of the Dagara tribe, carrying that frequency of Malidoma out into the galactic universe with the subtle energies, elements, and elemental beings. Basically, my thing is the elemental realm into the imaginal realms with offerings, rituals, and prescriptions to really add to your own personal container, your juice, to really juice you up. But really to truly merge these indigenous technologies with these subtle realms, the etheric highway, to assist you really to navigating your prime directive, your inner genius, the magical being that really resides within you. Once again, my name is Tonya D, and welcome to my virtual medicine room. I hope to change it up a little bit, but if you haven't already, please be kind and do subscribe to my YouTube channel, Tonya D. Everything's Tonya D. Have you noticed that? Hit the bell so you're notified, and also if you don't mind, like the video, share, or comment, so that YouTube algorithm will echo me out to other like-minded users in the galactic universe. And also, I'll pull a card for you if you comment and like or share. And you can find me on other social channels like Instagram, TikTok, and my musing podcast. So if you are ready to explore the elemental realm, Voices of the Otherworld, my immersion into the highway of the elementals is totally underway. The upcoming one is all about nature, and we all have a nature, an innate, authentic nature that is unique to us. What resides within us, the cycles of nature. So be sure to join me if you feel called for that. And also, I will see you on what I call the other side. But the messages of today being that we are in the sensation of Pisces, the last frequencies of it, these feeling states. So if you could literally imagine sitting at a round table with your spirit, your soul, your feelings, your childlike self, along with these energies of just receiving and being in the reception center of spirit, we then open up to that spiritual insight that this moon, this full moon, the worm, is all about, the worm moon of all things. But this moon is a combination of our childlike wonder, what we sensed reality was as our inner child and spirit, an angelic being, an animal totem even, or a guide, a guardian of your galaxy. And all of this is sitting at this galactic round table. So it's ready to give us the insight of our God spot, if you will. So it's like ask and you shall receive from spirit. However, it's also be cautious of what we intend to ask for too, right? Sometimes we don't know what we're going to ask for. But the message is, it's not really an ethereal day, but it's as if we are in the between and the in-betweens. So I kind of am using my shamanic realm today. And again, thanks for popping on, Tonya. I do have a card for you. But first up, we have, let's see, and I kind of muffed this up yesterday, but here we go. The Sorcerer. And really, who doesn't love a great sorcerer? Just saying. But you can see, hopefully you can see, this card is number 48. So this tells me this is something that we belong committing to, or a decision that needs to be made about where we do or we do not belong. But the source of this dark power, right? This is the source of that. So the sorcerer represents a destructive aspect within our human psyche, maybe a self-centered behavior that harms the other. And it really symbolizes these unconscious beliefs or these ideas like of separation, conflict, scarcity. But being that it's otherworldly, which is totally okay, right? Otherworldly to me, it's just the energies are coming from the heavenly realm, our ancestors, the beings in the unseen, sending us otherworldly signals into this realm and messages. So if you've been feeling kind of out of sorts, and I can probably say the galaxy kind of is, there's a lot of things going on, right, outside of us, because it's like we're coming up against our own characters and our own flaws, our own actions and characters, our behaviors. And oftentimes, the pain that we inflict on others is actually, we're out of alignment within ourselves. We're actually inflicting it on ourselves. So this is a message for radical shift, a radical self-acceptance of who we are, where we reconcile, get into the waters of these darker aspects of our nature. I always think there's magic on the other side of the fear, right? And our shadows sometimes are our fears. So just attuning to those. And in doing so, we don't behave in erratic or irresponsible ways. Anyway, I just saw your message. Sorry. So what happens in doing so, we cause more harm to ourselves and also to our village, our outside self. So it's time to really come out of the closet, if you will, the cobwebs of denial, and just accept responsibility for our words, our actions, our deeds, our character, our home life, our emotional security. So when we meet this energy of the sorcerer and we become, I don't want to say humiliated, but we've become in alignment with being human, this destructive power transforms into grace, the streams of grace, which we can use to be of service for the highest good, enlightenment. So it might be time to make amends. If you feel that way, do it. It's going to set us free from the shadows, just allowing us to step into the light, the corridor of the light. And being that this is actually the first message, this is kind of the message of the past, something that we've already kind of are flowing through from, coming through from, if you don't mind. Sorry, I have like stuff all over my desk and my mouse is getting all afflicted here. And then we have the Rainmaker, which who doesn't love a great rainstorm, right? But number 42. So this is like, what do my feelings, or what feelings do I belong with, or what feelings do I not belong with, or how do I belong feeling being centered in my body? So the Rainmaker is literally a manifestation of mastering or creating a master manifestation. So we can call in literally all of the elements of nature to serve the highest good. They can literally be at that cosmic round table. So when it comes to the power to create, just utilizing our assets with integrity, like the galaxy, the galactic frontier is a bounty, and it benefits the flow of each and every essence, whether it's a plant, an animal, a human, a galaxy, a stars, even a star seed. However, when this is used for the power of personal gain, everybody suffers, including the planet. So it's like the love of power versus the power of love. So when the earth is dry, she is parched, right? So the Rainmaker calls the waters from the heavens, and all that's sleeping in our world, in our hearts, literally springs to life again. That's why like rain showers are so glorious, right? But it's curious that I have this message today in the middle of the season of spring. We're not quite to the equinox, but be sure to check that out. I have some really fun little reels coming out. Haven't decided if I'll do a ritual, but anyway, we're kind of being invited to create something new, the birth, from the elements that we already have within our life, and to work with what we already have, and not be like what could have, would have, should have been kind of a thing, and leaving the scarcity mindset and being the seeds of gratitude, the blessings of our heart. The seeds have been germinating silently within our heart space. They're just ready to bubble and burst forward. It's the spring and get ready for the sunlight. So it's time to kind of hold back a little bit, but not too much. It's really time to like free up the reins. Like if you were riding a horse, just allowing that freedom to flow, and put the bounty on the faith of the heavenly realm, the divine, the oneness, trusting the universe for the good and the good, or the divine highway, right? That's where the super galactic juice is, right? just having that otherworldly faith that this too shall pass. So this is where we are now. This is the center where we are heading. It's the message for the future in our past. So like it's the birthing, it's spring, right? That's kind of what I'm getting out of that one. And then we have the arrow. So when I see this message, it truly reminds me of Malidoma, the arrow that his grandfather had. It's just always arrows do that. It was this magical arrow. But being that it is number 3, or the message, it has the 3 in the corner. The 3 reminds me of having a boundary or drawing a line around our beliefs. Separating our beliefs from the beliefs of those around us, those opinions in our day-to-day reality. It's okay to have a different opinion. We're all right in our opinions, right? But in receiving this symbol, it's a reminder or message that we are in alignment with our heart and our soul. We're literally on target. We are in the flow. We're going to hit the bullseye. We're going to hit the mark. But we have to be authentic. We have to be true. We have to be in integrity and just detach and release from anything we are attached to, freeing ourselves from the bondage of the physical, what the world kind of tells us a great life is, right? So this moment is kind of revealing our intentions. We're going to make contact. It's going to meet the material, become physical, but it also symbolizes the need to set our creativity free. This is like the heavens raining down upon us, our creativity to hit the bullseye, our imagination. So the arrow, if you've ever watched an arrow, I watch a lot of shows with swords and arrows lately. Won't get into that. However, Urtical, my favorite Netflix movie. I've watched it quite a few times. But arrows just fly through the air. They're just magical, really. But it's inviting us to pay attention to the signals and the signs or the sigils that we are really about to like hit the center, hit the bullseye in some aspect of our life. So it's illuminating the moment of contact when we know that our desires, like what are our intentions? We've traveled through the winds of time and space, and we're landing into this perfect place for the highest good. And honestly, I think we're all here at the right time for this otherworldly stuff that's happening. The universe is galactic, right? And we're all seeds, collective seeds of this consciousness, but just trusting that our duty, to be relaxed, to be focused, and keeping an eye on the prize, hitting the mark. Fear is like false evidence affecting our realities, right? So just releasing our intentions with that arrow to those full expectations, and it's going to land. It's going to land how it's supposed to. But oftentimes, we worry about the how and the formation of it. However, the universe never works like that, right? So if we frequent the frequency of just releasing the how and allowing the universe to do the doing, our bidding, and with the how, that's how the arrow is just going to glide through the air, hitting its mark, going to the bullseye, and then we have time to celebrate our wins. So if you could reminisce about last year when the full moon was in Pisces, like what were your dreams? Because we're talking about Pisces. So what is it that you wanted to create in your reality, your inner landscape? So that's kind of what this arrow is kind of reflecting back to, because we're heading into the crescent wave of the full bounty, right? The moon, the full moon. And this is for you. Now, don't go down the rabbit hole, Tonya. This is the Andean Cross, which is, to me, it's super juicy, but I just think everything's juicy. I don't know if you can see the 2 in the corner, but the 2 is our feelings. And I would kind of be curious what sign your moon is in your natal chart or when you were born, the degree of your moon, having boundaries around your feelings or paying attention to your feelings and sitting like in childlike wonder, having that conversation with your inner baby, if you will, nurturing that inner baby, coddling your inner emotional frequency. But the Andean Cross, it represents the cosmology of, I need your degrees, babe, of your moon. Cancer, though. So you are actually in touch with your feelings, but I think you need to recalibrate them a little bit, tune into them a little more. But the cosmology and the shamanic dimensions, it's all of the directions, the north, the east, the south, the west, what comes in all those 4 directions, but it's also the upper, middle, and lower worlds. And that hole in the center, the circle, that creates sacred space where we can step into each of these realms, into their own gateway, if you will, this interdimensional time traveling aspect where you can go into different timelines, really. But it's like the eye of the needle. I just watched a cool story, the Adam Project on Netflix last night. That's kind of what this card reminds me of. But it's this place where we can all go to experience higher states of awareness, consciousness, wisdom, ancient wisdom, and break free of linear time and space, because time is fluid. It's like water. Honestly, I don't think there's any such thing as time. It's just frequencies we frequent as we're hiccuping along our journey. But being that it's otherworldly, the medicine here is saying that time has passed, the window of opportunity is closing, so it's not time to take the leap for something that you might have been preparing for. It's better to wait until the heavens, the galactic frontier, lines up again to offer you a more promising moment. So any action you take right now, it's gonna you're gonna have to have more effort. It's like what am I seeing? I'm seeing a big river storm, a big river, a lot of effort to push through. So it's just important to like the knowing of when to act and the knowing when we should return to inner stillness and be patient, waiting for a more favorable moment and connecting with that inner baby. That's what I kind of see. Feelings and your emotions, maybe write them down and see kind of what comes up. It's like a pause point in the breath or the breathing, pointing the stillness as far as air moving through in your body. Yeah, see, connecting with your inner. Plus, Cancer is the moon. You're ruled by the moon. So every time the moon moves in human design or astrologically through a season, you are feeling the feelings, right? Your empathetic channel is like a beacon. So it's, I would be having the conversation, is this me or is this them, as it's flowing, and just take note of the feeling. And you have to trust, right? Be in your sense of truth. Like, is this me or them? And just kind of pay attention to how your body's flowing even. Because Cancer is the moon. Okay, I'll look on your chart if I have time. Oh, you're a Sagittarius even. A 4 baby. So that's community in the Dagara cosmology. Okay, I'm going down the rabbit hole. But I do the elementals because I understand the frequency of them and like what we need. So I can kind of play. I like to play with the elements. They're fascinating actually. But on the elemental highway, we have this young earth dragon. So this is like an earth dragon, a mountain dragon. It's a dragon of a day, right? You ever like look at mountains or anything really and see different shapes and formations in them? I do it all the time, but it's a Wu Chen. This is the east. This is the spring, and we have a directional frame. We've got the tiger, the rabbit, and the dragon. They're all in sequential. That's kind of how they go in the eastern direction. This is east in my house, by the way. So this is like set your intentions high, the wealth, the abundance, the birth of it is online. Planting the seeds. I would literally go plant some seeds, speak into the seeds, your intention, like your voice, the harvest, especially with the uprising of the full moon. Virgo is the harvest. So really planting your dreams, Pisces, the seeds, the harvest. Speak into the seeds of what your heart wishes to manifest in the harvest, the fall. Baby steps. So I sense the messages are in alignment with this as well, the energy of the day. But our day, even though it's big earth, a mountain, it's actually weak, the young earth. So young earth, our day, literally represents this massive solid rock, a mountain. This is a person. They are steady. They are reliable. You can call on them and always count on them to be there. See, mountains, they're not easy to move. So their main qualities are stability and support. And given how hard it is to move these people, if you know any mountains, even born in a mountain year, young earth year, or dragon even, because that's young, hard to move. They can become kind of complacent. That makes them procrastinators, one of their greatest enemies, if you will, unless there is some stronger external force that will move them. That's why they're represented by the mountain. So a young earth person is very strong. They're slow in making decisions. They really take their time. So everybody likes to tell their secrets to the mountain. But the mountain doesn't like sharing their own. So a lot of times this yang earth may seem very mystical, but with the dragon there, this is a mystical creature, right? So that's kind of the earth. So once you get to know somebody with this kind of just the yang earth, not so much the dragon, but kind of a combination really. They do open up, they become rather chatty, and they're also pretty fun. But they often change their minds, which can drive people crazy, especially if you're around them. But they're independent, they generate their own talents. They love to do things on their own. They take their time, they lay the foundation, the groundwork. So as much as that can be a good thing, it can also backfire because they tend to procrastinate. So they can be very stubborn about it, if you will. And they can achieve success on their own. They're actually great at it. They don't need the nurturing from others. They often don't offer it as well to others, if that makes sense. It's a mountain, so think of a mountain. So it does no good to go to these people to come to the mountain. They just don't do it. So big earth doesn't need anybody to develop their talents. They're highly capable to do all of this on their own. So a mountain is self-sufficient. They have everything they need. It's already there. As long as they don't have to rely on others, they are emotionally stable. They are a mountain. So they will strive at whatever they commit and decide to do, but they also make highly principled choices, principalities. So to a young earth person, sticking to their moral code and their quest to do what's right, that's kind of what's necessary for all of their decisions that they make. Integrity makes up most of them. So they tend to second guess their own decisions, and oftentimes in their quest to choose the right thing, that's when they make the mistakes. So they're often kind of governed by other people's opinions, but they inspire trust because they put others first to that extent that they would rather change their ways when others find it difficult to adapt to what they want. So this excessive sensitivity to the perception, high sense perception of other people often makes them weak-willed in a way. So they're driven by their emotions. So they're prone to make those rash decisions. And because emotions rule them in the decision making, they tend to be stubborn, illogical. They sense they don't reason as top priority. They're coupled with this fondness of sitting and contemplating. It's like big mountain earth, this yang earth. So it's also values, perceptions more than anything else. And they act on their gut feelings and being a perfectionist integrity. So they often go around and around in circles, which just leads to more procrastination. So they gain a lot of strength really from their family and those that they are in relationship with. Family is actually extremely important to a mountain, especially a yang earth person. So if they have great foundation support from their parents or siblings, they can take on the world. Even if other parts of their lives aren't doing so well, as long as they can find peace within their family, they'll be fine. Besides the family, a love relationship is another space, a thing where they find peace and they find purpose, validation. So if family and their love life are supported by the mountain, that's when they feel totally inspired, emotionally prepared for any life hiccups or challenges that come up. But our day would be strong if it was born in the summer months, but yang earth is weak during all other seasons. So our yang earth is actually weak. Fire is what's needed, yang fire, because it's a mountain. So when it's strong, the yang earth would prefer yang wood, which we do have, which is the forest, yin water, which is the streams or a mist of rain. So those elements balance them. So just pointing out some special issues, which are essential to kind of understand when you're dealing with a yang earth person. They literally are like volcanoes, right? The earth. They hold their emotions deep down into the earth, but when they lose those emotions, when they become unbearable, they burst, they explode, and they'll literally surprise everybody around them. So they need their space and they need to go at their own pace. You really have to find a good way to kind of deal with them, mostly on an emotional level, because nothing else will work. So once they have their conditions and they're supported, they can be highly creative, very successful. But our day needs the sun. So it could also use the minerals, the metal as well. So I seriously would do that planting of a seed ritual today, or at least kind of set the stage for it, for the intention that you wish for to harvest into the future, into the fall season, because we got this moon too. So this might have been even like a prepping for a ritual for the future. So our third eye is actually online today too. So it's like, what visions do you have for your future? So colors of the galaxy are those deep shades of the ocean, the periwinkles, the deep purples, the indigos, the deep shades, the shades that almost look black. They're so black that they shimmer, they twinkle. So that's super fascinating. But the Om channel. So I prefer the sound of silence. That's just my thing. When my third eye, I just prefer that for myself. That's just how I function. But elementally, I don't have any water, so I need the sound of silence so I can go into the starry, starry night, or water. And the fire, the heat of fire, the breath of fire, to bring in the element of fire. So you have those options. So sometimes we have this feeling of the wrath of God universe, right? And we know, or at least I do, I return things to sender, the things that are harmful or sending harm to the village, the collective humanity. I just return everything back like a wave to sender and allow the universe to sort that shift out. Sometimes it's our karmic past memories and we're kind of decoding them. So we're kind of being called to free up our hard drive, our hard space, if you don't mind. There's no need to allow the algorithm to control us. There's no need to self-judge, self-doubt, judge others, worry. This kind of is a spiritual judge that's online along with spirit. So I would say go to your virtues. You know mine, does it bring me peace or am I at peace? Does it light me up? Is it making me happy? Is there joy? Is there love? And for me, most importantly, it's always about integrity, discerning, or is it in alignment with my integrity? And we all have a different perception, like the mountain of what integrity is. So I would take that mountaintop view and ask yourself, am I on solid ground? And can you commit to a spiritual ritual, a practice, an offering, a purpose that really hits that bullseye, that arrow today? So like, what is the arrow that you're aiming for in your day-to-day life into the future and go beyond the earthly, the physical realm, the manifesting of heaven, bringing heaven to earth? And what is an aspect of your life that you can practice that is priceless? It's like something priceless that, that's something that cannot be bought, right? So in a divination, the heart is the part in my cowrie shells that have the ability of where we can devote our time to, the direction that we commit to in our spiritual acumen. So in our choices today, feel into if you're feeling excited about the conversation with the mountain. And do you have the ability to ride the wave with no worries and no doubt? Nothing's resisting. There's no resistance. There's no dams in the river or the streams. And really taking the stream and flow into something that you truly can heartfelt be devoted to, something that you truly believe in. The possibilities are endless, but holding that frequency of what your spirit is able to devote to, carry the thread into the fall, the harvest. And again, with this moon, I would write it down. I would focus on it during a morning or an evening meditation randomly through the day. Whatever your routine is, mine are random. There's no, I guess my flow is just otherworldly, but take the pause to your own inner peace. We are priceless, celebrating our wins, even if they are small. Small things add up to the big things, right? So again, the moon, she's in the beginning phases of Virgo. So you might just be feeling the reality of where you want to live in the future. So in your spirit space, your corridor, your sacred space, your circle, your sphere, we all carry a unique vibration. So be in that sacred space, align with your heart, your feelings, your thoughts. My thing for the current threads is holding faith and just trusting the universe. Like sometimes it's like, hey, what's going on up there? And just allow the great spirit, the divine oneness, whatever you want to call it, another galaxy even, to be your guiding light. The hitchhiker's guide to the galaxy, right? But just opening up to that divine or otherworldly guidance. Again, it could be an ancestor, an otherworldly being, the angelic realm, or even beings from another galaxy, starseeds and all, right? So the universe is really unlimited. So I would really affirm that. I am open to receive the messages from the universe, the galactic universe, visioning my heartfelt faith, and just pay more attention to your feelings. It's more than the empathy channel, right? So, and also I have a quiz. It's super fun. I think quizzes are great. It's the clarity of knowing. It's the Change Your Stars quiz, right? So we are the change. We are like nature. We are always changing. We are always transforming. We are in the season of nature. I'm super excited about my next immersion because it's all about nature. So you might be that of a visionary, and all of a sudden your visions become real. They become manifest in the earth realm, and emotions take us. They are like they are the wave that flow that in. So it's like taking spirit and pouring the gift into the seeds of our day to our day-to-day life to manifest in the earth, the earthing, if you will. But thanks for tuning in. I will check out your chart. And as always, commenting, sharing, and liking. And I will see you on the other side. Bingo. Except I got to look. December 1st, 74. You know what I'm going to need? You got to message me because I need to know where you were born, darling.